Okay, thank you very much. We're live.
Welcome this evening. I'd like to call to order the regularly scheduled Public Safety Committee meeting for Monday, August 17th at 5:30 p.m. And first up on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll second.
Minutes are approved for July 20th meeting. And we do not have any public comment in queue. This portion of the meeting is usually specified or set aside for comments from the public who are asked to limit their comments to 2 minutes. Any person interested in providing public comment should email publicmeetings@rockyhillct.gov. You will be provided with a link and a Zoom remote meeting and instructions how you will be able to participate. Next up on the agenda is department meetings, and we could go right to fire.
Good evening. Thank you for everybody being here tonight. Basically, I know you're all in receipt of the chief's monthly report with the incidents we responded to, and for the month of July. This is Dave Cromas, Assistant Chief of the Fire Department.
Okay, great, Dave. We can't see your picture and no name tag, so I'm just Dave Cromas.
Yep, David Cromas, Assistant Fire Chief, Town of Rocky Hill.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? I understand that you guys are all in receipt of the Chief's monthly report for July 2020. We responded to 53 calls. Training hours recorded were 308, with a year to date of 2,215 training hours. Firefighter injuries reported year to date were 1. Year to date total for July of 2019 was 3. Our staffing is about the same. We had 2 people change over. We've converted over to the new PFAS-free foam, the new F500 encapsulant. All our onboard foam tanks were cleaned and use the guidelines set forth by DEEP. All the stations have completed the factory representative training, and we trained with actual live foam on the training ground. We've restarted our physicals, and we anticipate completion of our physicals by August of 31st, 2020. And the chief has left me a note saying, lastly, we're in constant communication with the emergency management director to provide a safe, effective, and efficient response. That's all I have. You all have any questions for me?
Sure. Questions from Councilor Emanuel?
Yeah, Dave, I just got one question. It's that general concern about training and I know COVID has been interrupting the past 4 months, but is there a decrease, with COVID aside, is there a decrease from last year at this point in time? I do see it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's because of COVID.
Yeah.
But I heard that there's some concern about less training in the budget. And I just wanted your perspective on if there's a concern there, what we need to do about it, if there is.
I don't know what the concern that was raised. I know some people raised the concern that there were some cuts made to our budget for training. We have restarted training. There has been less training due to COVID because we had to limit the amount of people in the space. We did assign a lot of online training. We're restarting our training. Our training program's going full force. Art Gentili, who's the deputy chief, he's facilitating a lot of training. He's really on top of things. Him and I have been meeting. We have continued firefighter safety and survival and RIT training that's going to be going on in the month of August. This coming Tuesday, we're going to be touring Connecticut Pharma on Brook Street, and it's not Brook Street, excuse me, on the Old Forge and Dividend and the old McKesson Drugs. We're going to be touring there on Tuesday night, going over the layout of the facility and anything. Anybody from the Public Safety Committee that would like to attend, feel free to join us. if you reach out to me at my email address, I'll give you all the particulars. But we are continuing a training. We just got 3 cars delivered to the training ground for continued extrication training for the nights that we have to keep our numbers below a certain point. The people that won't be at the firefighter safety and survival and RIT will be doing vehicle extrication or ladders and ventilation. So our training is continuing.
Okay, thanks.
Dave, did
Yes.
Rockio go over to the Berlin Turnpike today for that big fire?
Yes, we did have a response over there. I was not in town, so I haven't had a chance to review the reports yet. Rich, can you comment on that?
Yes, so they activated the task force, and Task Force 51 went right to the scene. Deputy Chief Gentili went with Engine 2 to round out their crew, and I went over as the our incident commander. And yeah, we were there for most of the event.
Was it 2 trucks that collided?
It was 2 tractor trailers. One was carrying a boat and the other was carrying a mini excavator. And there seemed to be a lot of confusion when we were there as to the truck with the mini excavator may have been broke down on the side of the road. And I'm not sure how the accident happened, but both vehicles became fully involved in fire, and there was at least 1 fatality at the scene.
Is it by that restaurant? What is it, Elaine's?
Yeah, it was right between the entrance to Elaine's and the Cumberland Farms.
Thank you.
Questions, Counselor Prakash?
I have no questions at this time, Chairman.
I just want to circle back on the training hours of 308 training hours and 2,642 for the year on the report.
No, it was 2,642 year to date for July 19, and for this year for us it's 2,215 for the year 2020.
Got it.
We're
Yep.
about 40. We're about 400 and something calls short. Training hours short of what we did last year, and that's directly related to COVID because we were restricted to how we could do training.
I'll try to hook up with you on the CT Pharma tour, possibly. So I'll email you. Glad you're going
Thank
over.
you. I just have to let them know who's coming. Because that's a controlled atmosphere. So,
Yep.
they really need to know who's coming in and who's leaving because of security concerns and stuff.
Dave, do you have a time?
I believe it's 7 o'clock, but if you email me, I'll reach back to you with an exact time. Usually between 7 and 7:30 is when we usually begin our training. I have to review my email right now from Deputy Chief Gentili. He's the one that set up the tour. Him and I are working hand in hand on a lot of this training right now.
One final question concerning the hours on the storm cleanup after the big windstorm. I heard tale of about 30 guys answered the call in and were out on the road that night. Is that true?
Yeah, we had approximately 30 people that responded or were on standby in the firehouses. And we had approximately 40 calls. There was a small little bit of a snafu during the middle of this whole storm due to the dispatch center started losing its generator. We lost a little bit of our CAD. Some of the calls didn't transfer, but our numbers are pretty accurate. We have 40 calls. We went to single asset dispatching in the middle of it due to, there was just so many calls. We couldn't have everything committed to one call and then get another call. So we had approximately 40 calls. We had 30 people on standby for approximately 6.5 hours with no injuries.
Great. Hey, on the generators, I know it's not in the job description, but you did start up quite a few generators. Do most people with their generators, are they not backfeeding onto the grid, or did you have to disallow some generators?
For any of the calls that I was on, any of the generators that I saw, at the time most of the people hadn't even started their generators yet. But most people are not backfeeding. Most people are doing it correctly. I had a generator on my house, for example, and I have what's called an interlock. It's a UL listed and FM approved system of supplying your house with power. You plug your generator into the outside of your house. I'm sure there were still some people out there that were backfeeding. I didn't see any. Rich, did you?
No, the issue with that is that a lot of times in years past, people would hook their generator up through their
Dryer
circuit for the dryer, and they wouldn't shut off the breakers, which allowed a backfeed through the system, and it could either, if you didn't have your main circuit breaker shut off, and you tied the generator in, the generator would basically blow up in your face. And then the other problem was that if a lineman restored power, he could get electrocuted, but through the use of the transfer switch or the UL listed switch that Dave was describing, that has pretty much gone away. But I'm sure that there are people that got desperate and did probably do what they're not supposed to do. It's a code violation. You can't do it, but I'm sure there were people that did.
So the main takeaway is if you don't have, if in everybody, when you're looking at your home program, your home generator, if you're not killing the main switch before you're bringing your power on, then you're probably doing it wrong.
If you're not if you're not using a transfer switch, or you're using the UL approved switch that Dave was describing, you're doing it improperly, and it's totally against code.
Okay. Hey, on Eversource, there is a contact. Did that work smoothly for the town in getting information? Not every little blip, but I mean, basically our contact was reachable during the event.
Our contact was spot on. I talked to him the day of the storm. I can't tell you how many times I talked to him. I know John talked to him a couple of times, and he was accessible up until, in fact, yesterday. We were in constant communication with him over the weekend between the storm and getting everything restored. I was on the phone with him several times, and that was seamless. I'm not sure how they how Eversource was able to establish what was a priority and not. We gave them the high priority. The problem that they had was that we were dealing with high, medium, and low priorities until Friday or Saturday, and they were still dealing with emergencies. So our priority list kind of took second place to what they had as emergencies, and that's what a lot of people didn't understand. And I get it, because if I was without power, I would have been upset too. But they were still dealing on Friday and Saturday, still dealing with what they considered emergencies and what we considered high and medium and low priorities.
Hey, if I could chime in for a half a second here. I definitely agree with everything Rich is saying. I mean, Rich and I personally found incidences that probably hadn't been reported yet, where there were services going into houses with trees on them and everything else. And when Rich reached out to his contact, they were right on top of it, up to and including the veterans home, which was their entire feed coming into their power plant was totally disrupted and down. And NU made the veterans home a priority for restoral. His contact at NU was definitely spot on.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Keeping with the order, we have ambulance up next. Joe? We don't have ambulance on tonight, John, I guess?
I guess not, no.
All right. And Lieutenant Gutzfeld from police?
Good evening. I'm filling in for Chief tonight. For July, for service, 2,305. Criminal arrests, 27. Motor vehicle accidents, 35. Infractions issued, 19. Warnings issued, 20. And training hours was 7. Motor vehicle thefts were at 7 as well. Staffing, we have 1 retirement going out this week. Youth Detective Frank Danny, is 39 and a half years of service, is retiring this week. We currently have 2 candidates that are in background portion of the process. We have 4 trainees that are in FTO. One was a lateral transfer that came from Hartford PD after 16 years of service. He came to the Rocky Hill Police Department. And he's in field training now. He should be out in a couple weeks. That's all I have for you. Any questions?
Counselor Emmanuel?
I don't have any questions. Thanks.
Counselor Prakash?
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate the police department on the accreditation you guys got. Great, very proud of that. And one other question I had was, and this is coming from a resident actually in town. There was a complaint about, and I'm trying to validate this. I don't know if you can comment on like individual complaints, probably not. So I will pose it as a general question. There were some concerns with this resident about seeing like some cars in the area who were like looked like they were surveilling the houses on the street, right? And it was caught on their camera. Apparently, that's what I was told. They have cameras outside their house which monitor the activity, as many of the residents do probably. So my general question to you is, have you seen those reports out there of people surveilling the streets, or like unwanted elements, or whatever, criminal elements, or whatever you want to call it? So I'm trying to put it as generally as possible because I don't want to make it about like one complaint.
Yep. I remember hearing a call last week, a suspicious car in the area where someone was taking photographs of houses. I'm not sure what that's about. We get that a couple times. It tends to be maybe a private investigator or something surveilling the area, or people for realtor companies that are taking pictures for postings or stuff like that. But we usually get on it and we never find anything suspicious. It ends up being an innocent way that what they're doing out there.
No, that's great to know. I just wanted to make sure that this was not part of a bigger pattern or anything like that, and it was something which we don't need to worry about at this point.
But as you can see, with the motor vehicle theft numbers have gone up a couple.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I didn't want to put too much into that because it went up like a few, because the numbers are small, but they clearly went up. It's unmistakable. They're trending like this.
Mm-hmm. Do is encourage the citizens to continue to lock their vehicles. Don't keep property in there, and just lock everything up.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, as long as it's not a big, it's not part of a bigger pattern, right? Like this kind of surveillance or like stuff like that.
Not that we're aware of at this point,
Yeah.
no.
Thank you.
John, did you have any questions? John, town manager, John? Any-
No
Nope, nope.
questions.
Nope. Question for, well, congratulations on your accreditation. I know it's a long time coming and it's been in the works for many, 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 many years.
It
So
was a very
congratulations.
collaborative effort.
Yeah, no, hey. On the wind event, did that have any particular stresses on the department?
The wind, is that what you said, the wind?
The windstorm, yes, the
Oh,
wind
yeah.
event.
I know we had problems with the generator, as Renstrom had said earlier. Fortunately, we had a surplus generator that we got from the military a couple years ago that we were able to hook up to our system and keep us running for that portion of the time. I know the town is looking at the generators now to see what has to be rectified for future instances, but we fared well. We took care of business. We did what we had to do, and we worked together with the fire department as we always do.
You guys healthy?
Yes, we have no COVID cases within the department, so that's good. And we have a couple of people that had gone away and have come back, and we're still dealing with that because of the new orders put into effect. But we're sticking to our guns and doing what we have to do out there.
All right, I appreciate that. If no other questions, I think,
Yeah,
John?
Charlie Brown's on vacation this week.
do we have
So
Lewis?
that's
No.
why we didn't have him on for this committee. And we're having one of his co-workers speak at the town council meeting, but sort of shifting over towards the mosquito at the town council meeting.
Great. Okay, thank you for your report. Appreciate it. If there's no other questions at this time, there's no new business.
No.
No other, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.